Alright, so thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Message 24 podcast.
Message 20. Oh.
Message
20.
See, this is why I'm your favorite co-host, Lakhia.
I am the true favorite co-host.
You wish you were a fan favorite.
And I am James.
Well, we are going to go ahead and jump right into this episode. Somebody didn't read the outline for the episode. Wow. We are going to, you can see who the organized person is.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm telling how I really feel. And that's how I feel. So you can tell who's the organized person out of the two of us.
I'm very organized.
You are?
Yes, very.
You sure?
Yes.
Do you have a planner?
The whole. Yes.
Do you use it?
I have a budget planner. I have a.
I'm not talking about your budget planner. I'm talking about the planner that you use for your daily life. Because I ain't never seen you use it.
Oh, I write in that planner all the time.
Why I ain't never seen it? What color is it?
That's personal. It's like a journal.
What color
or
is it?
Diary.
What
like
color?
Your diary. I don't read.
Because you don't have one. You can't even tell me what color it is. I get to my cup. Mine is pink and gold. And the top has fallen off because I be putting it. Actually, the top and the back of my planner is off because I be putting it through hell, and they already sent me a replacement planner for the first planner that I had.
Hand me that one then, since I don't.
No, I threw it away because it was falling apart. So then they was like they were going to send me another one for free, and they did. And then that one didn't fall apart too. So I guess they just not making quality planners. So if there is a company who makes quality planners and you would like to send me a product to review, I will do that because I use a planner. If I didn't have a planner, my life would be a complete shambles.
Yeah, so, send me one. Send me one too.
He ain't gonna use it, so don't.
I'm gonna write.
Don't waste your product, your time, your resources because
I've been rapping here lately.
Okay, now we're gonna definitely keep going. Speaking of rappers, I like a little. So speaking of rappers, I'm sure a lot of us, and if you have not, you could, I'm sure, find this interview on various outlets. We are talking about, is it Lil Durk or Lil Durk? I don't know how you say it.
Lil Durk with an L-I-L.
Lil. Okay. Lil Durk did, I think it was a podcast interview actually. Mm-hmm. I think it was a podcast interview, and we are not going to play that interview because
copyright.
I don't even know if it's copyright, but I'm just not going to dissect that interview and talk about him. But from what I saw, I think it raised a very interesting question. So basically, if you haven't listened to the interview, the part that I saw, I have not listened to it in its entirety, and I won't. But the part that I saw is he was speaking about his fiance. And he said that one of the reasons why he basically wiped her or proposed to her is because she had a low body count. And I don't know much about him, but from what I have heard, he has like 7 kids. But again, I'm not going to use this to talk about him. I am going to use this to open the conversation about holding your partner to standards that you can't even meet yourself. Like, how do you want a partner who has only slept with 3 people and you've slept with so many people, you don't even remember how many you slept with? And granted, I don't think like most people count how many people they've slept with, but if you know you slept with an astronomical amount of people, how could you ever, you know what I'm saying, not want to date somebody because they've done the same thing as you? So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. Like, how do you feel about the body count conversation? How do you feel about that? And then I'll chime in.
Gotcha. So I guess as far as body count, kind of how we talked before, I'm not a big know your past person. So I don't want to know how many bodies you have. You'll never hear that come out of my mouth.
You ain't gonna hear me either.
Because I don't want you to ask me that. And I think you should be able to hold, your partner to the same standards that you're asking them. So double standards is
it's terrible,
horrible thing.
Yeah.
And one thing that so hopefully that answers your question.
It answers my question.
Yeah, I don't want to know any of that, but I know for some people, like they males specifically, I think women have double standards too. Some women do, but men, I think a big one that I've noticed is they'll want their partner to be real.
A virgin.
No, not sexual. Not this. Not this.
Oh, it's not sexual. Oh, okay, I'm gonna move on then. I'm gonna take it back.
Yeah, we can go back. But they want their significant other to be skinny and not have a gut and just look beautiful, perfect. Yeah, and they want them to make a bunch of money. And they have the beer bellies, the guts, and
don't drink water.
This is for all races. Like I know this is all around pretty much with all races. But yeah, they definitely don't want their women to look a certain way, dress a certain way. But they are able to do that. Like they're able to not take care of their health. Yeah. They're able to just do whatever. But they gotta be.
That's holding your partner to a standard you can't meet. Like you don't even drink water and eat vegetables. Not you, because you do. But and your urine probably smells like battery acid. How dare you tell me that I can't have a gut kid? I am not gonna get on my men's soapbox today, but I am. Go ahead. Be careful what you're about to ask me.
I'm curious to know, would you, if you had a standard, right, and you said people can't hold their partner to that standard. But let's say y'all come into it and, y'all both have these standards. I'm just going to give an example of two individuals who go to the gym, they train each and every single day, but their lifestyle changes over, let's say, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Is it okay for them to still to hold them to that standard if one kind of stops being as healthy and then the other person continues to be? Is that okay to hold them to that same standard, do you think?
I don't think so, because there could be a lot of situations with this, but the first situation I think of is like, what if you were in a relationship with somebody, you two were super, super active, and then you have a child? You can't expect the mom to like bounce back and be able to go to the gym with you every day. She would be lucky if she's able to take a shower, depending on how active the other person in the relationship is. Because there are some people who have kids and they can't even get in the shower. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't have their significant other isn't even around to help them do that. So
wait.
Yeah.
To take a shower.
There are some people in relationships who have children, and this is the thing that I've learned and I've observed is when women have a baby, like that's their baby. Like men can get up and they can move around and do what they want to do, but the woman, she can't do that, because when you first have a child, that child is completely dependent on you. So there are some women who have partners who might pay all of the bills, so they're not as active in like the child rearing process. But yeah, there are some women who can't even get in the shower because they have their baby.
Better get in the shower with their baby.
There are, and that's what you have to do. Like, and that's women who are in relationships. Like, I can't, like the women who didn't have a person they're in a relationship with. Like, that's terrible.
They can't put the baby.
I'm just saying.
I'm big on time management, so I'm just.
I'm not doing that. I don't know what it's like to be a mom. I have friends who are moms,
I can't say
and
that.
Even the things they share with me, I can't even imagine. Like, being a mom being a parent is a huge job. Like, you are responsible for an entire human being's life. Mm-hmm. But there are some women who, like I said, they can't even clean their rooms. Like, and you also have to think, like, women go through postpartum. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm a woman. I don't know the ins and outs. I just know a little bit from the research I've done and from the women who are in my life who are mothers. But I think if it's a situation like that, no. If you're not helping her to take care of this kid or help her navigate through her postpartum, no, you can't hold her to that standard.
So do you know how long postpartum lasts?
I think postpartum, I hope I don't sound silly. And also, we will probably have a doula on the show at some point. We can get back into this, but I think postpartum can last like a year.
Okay. So like, after, let's say 2 years in.
2 years. Like, having a baby is like you just gave birth to a whole human being. Like, you have to think, like, that's physical trauma, emotional, your hormones are trying to balance. Like, you don't even know when that person will be feeling like they want to work out or even are physically able to work out, because there are some women who are not physically able to work out after they're having a child.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of men don't know that, and even some women don't know that, because that's, you know, something I've learned from other women. But
and is that from having I guess having that child, like there's something going on to where they can't,
what you mean?
They can't exercise?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women sometimes have complications during birth. Some women die from having kids.
Gotcha.
So if you just had a C-section, like, you definitely can't work out because you could mess up your incision. You know what I'm saying?
And you can never work out.
No, I'm not saying you can't, but not probably for a while. They literally had to, like, move your intestines out to take your baby out. That's traumatic. That's trauma on your body. That takes a long, long time to heal. I'm not saying they can't ever get back into the gym, but I think it takes a while. Like, if you know what I'm saying, you get in the groove of being a mom, you just had a kid, it will take a while. So I don't think it would be wise of a partner to hold them to that standard.
Right.
I think they should just try to be as supportive as possible, and, you know,
as things go.
Yeah, and then it's
see the situation is what you're saying, and be understanding, and not holding, not being anal.
Yeah, you can't do that to somebody that just had a kid. If you could just do your part and try to lighten her load, like maybe you do the laundry so she can have her time. Maybe you do something around the house to make her life easier. That's not. But it's real.
If you don't have that much time,
it's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. So no, and maybe she will get back into the groove of wanting to work out. You don't know. Y'all might just take it slow. Like, hey, let's go for a walk around the neighborhood, and just work up from there. But expecting a woman who just gave a baby to snap back into what she was is like a very unrealistic expectation. And I feel like social media has really tainted that for women, because like a lot of celebrities that have a baby, then 2 weeks later they're in the mirror and talking about postpartum body. Like, girl, go to hell. If that's what happened,
that's what they did.
I mean,
or
yes.
However they did it. I don't know if it was from whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's just unrealistic. Like, you just gave birth to a whole human being.
They made it realistic, but what you're saying, I get what you're saying. Like, you shouldn't be using social media to. Yeah,
it's not realistic for the average woman to do that, I think. But yeah, so to answer your question, no, I don't think.
You don't think you should be able to.
No.
To hold them. Okay.
No, I don't think so. But back to this body count conversation. I even hate the word body count. Like, it's so weird to me.
Like, it's a number, like a stat.
Yeah, like what? And I think we're both on the same page with not wanting to know, because it does nothing for me. Like, as long as you were safe when you were when you were dealing with those other people, I don't care.
Right.
And I'm also a person where I'm really big on my health, like my sexual health. So even though we're in a committed relationship, I still take that very seriously. So when I go to the doctor, I still get a checkup. Like, that's just me. Like, that's just something I'm gonna do for myself, because I just take and it's not to say that I think you would do anything, because I'm not concerned about that. But it's just something I do for my own peace of mind.
Right.
Because you never know. But
your health, relationship or not.
Yeah, it's my health.
We have this conversation all the time.
Like, I have to deal with that. Just like you would have to deal with that. So, but yeah, I'm glad that we're on the same page with that. I think I don't know, I feel like that's something that people really were big on, and like when I was younger.
That's like I feel like that's a high school.
But you would think, but this man is grown, sitting up here talking about her body count.
Well, let's look into his background, and I really haven't done too much research on his background. But if he came from high school, if he went to college, I don't know kind of his background. But if he still has that mentality of where he was around like a lot of people was in high school, and those were times that you remember, you continue to bring up. If I don't know,
I just think, I don't know why
But guys in college still kind of talk about
grown men older than us. I don't care, and I just don't. This was also my thing.
Oh.
I low key wanted to be with somebody that had kind of like been around the block a little bit, because I mean I low key did, because I just wanted somebody who was experienced as well. Also, this was like probably immaturity, because I don't feel this way anymore, but I low key wanted somebody who had, you know, explored their self sexually before they got with me, because that would make me feel more secure in the relationship. Like, they're like, okay, I've been there, done that, I don't want to do that no more. That sort of thing. But that's like being incredibly immature, because...
Why do you say immature? Maybe that's...
I think...
Are you saying you were comparing... I guess why did you feel that you needed that? Was it from someone else?
No, I just felt like if I'm with somebody, I want that person to have explored themselves sexually, so that by the time they get with me, they're like, they're not like, I wish I would have done this, and then go out and do something, you know, that sort of thing. But now that I am a little bit older, a little bit wiser,
Oogerish.
You know, I'm grown. I know that that's not true. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could have done everything in the world and still one day wake up like, I want to do this. And if I don't want to do it,
yeah, you have no
control.
We have, a lot less control than we think as humans.
We would love, and that's something I've learned. Like, we do not have ownership of people. Like, I say that you are mine, but I do not own you. I do not have any ownership of you. If you wanted to wake up tomorrow and go do something nuts and I didn't want to do it, I can't stop you from doing it, because I don't own you. Like, I don't possess you.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes people...
A relationship is it is a bond. So
it's definitely a bond.
I can see how, you know, what that person, and I think that's an important thing too, like just making sure that you're true to yourself too.
Yeah.
It's like, once you get in a relationship, once you've been with somebody for so long, you start picking up on the way they talk,
because we talk alike,
laugh, the way they just interact with people, like, you pick up on all that stuff.
Yeah, because your lives are intertwined.
Right. So when it becomes intertwined, you like, that person is mine, I'm theirs, and we are one. That's kind of like...
I think that's true too. Because that's how I feel about you. Like, we're super bonded, and I know that you are mine, but I do not own you.
Right.
Like, I know that parts of you that I get, nobody else will ever get, but I also know that I do not have ownership of you.
Right, and I can make the decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think we do think we have a lot more control over people. The only person we can ultimately control is ourselves.
Right.
Like, I can't.
The whole time.
Yeah.
That's what, and I just want to speak on this from like an outside perspective too. That's what jobs.
Oh.
People think that they have, like, they are in control.
These jobs will leave you high and dry.
Yes, they will let you go if you're not producing what you need to be producing. I'm trying to think of other circumstances too, like family.
Yeah, you don't have control over them.
They can turn on you,
depending
on, you know, the situation. Friends.
Yeah.
So it goes with like all relationships. Like, you don't, you think that you have control,
but you don't.
Yeah, you really don't.
And since you brought up jobs, I'm gonna just say this: these corporations do not care about you. Okay,
well, you can.
I'm gonna say my piece.
Per person, per company. I mean.
A lot of times, that I'm not saying all companies.
Yeah.
But a lot of companies do not care about you. So do not be trying to kill yourself to show up for work, because if you die, there will be somebody in your place next week, and that ball is gonna keep on rolling. One monkey don't stop the show, basically, and they're gonna keep it. That's what he said.
What word say?
I don't know about that word.
In the wind, something like that.
I don't know what verse that is. What book that's from?
I'm gonna need you to get in that word.
First of all, I'm in the word. Don't try me. I grew up in a Baptist church.
Someone leave a comment.
You was the choir director.
Yeah, I know that scripture.
He was the choir director in church. It's just Sunday. So funny how people.
It's Sunday, and I don't want to get.
I ain't lying. I'm not lying. Because Because if I'm about to get struck, you get struck too. Because I'm not lying. I know that word.
I was never a choir director.
Well, that's what I was told. You was junior choir director.
A junior. It's like your assistant to the
Yes, the
manager.
assistant to the regional manager. Yes, you were. You were the assistant to the choir director. And you don't have to lie about it. You know what I'm saying? You can be honest. You can't be honest with nobody else.
I can be honest about this. I sang on the choir. And I also led songs on the choir.
So, assistant choir director.
I never. That's not what a choir is.
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
Okay, no, sir. So, we're not even about to do that. But, we done went all around that topic. But, I just would like the record to show that do not hold your partner to standards that you cannot even hold yourself to. That's just what I'm saying. When it comes to that. There might be situations, I can't think of any right now, but I just thought that was interesting that at his adult age, he said that. And again, I don't know anything about him or his personal life, but those are just my thoughts.
Yeah.
That stuff like that really doesn't matter. And if somebody asks you that, to me it's like a low key, like a red flag. Because why you want to know that?
Yeah, that's what I was just
care?
Red flag. What the?
Like
Red flag, sis.
yeah, I'm cringing. I ain't never heard.
You
of
remember that video with all them little stick figures? And they had the little red flag. It was in a group.
I don't know what side of TikTok you want.
Oh my
I'm not on that side of
gosh.
TikTok.
That week, there's like red flag, sis.
I don't recall. How was that doing?
What, baby?
Are both going through?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to stop, but I just needed to know because
We have to make sure our audio and sound
yes,
is good. But yeah, we good.
So now we're gonna move into our send or delete. I only have one for this week. This episode actually might be a relatively short episode, and that's okay. So I am asking the send or delete question for this week.
I'm ready.
Okay, so this is something I saw on the net. Okay, and have you ever seen the show Love Is Blind?
You know, I don't watch. much
You don't.
TV.
So let me explain it to you. So Love Is Blind is basically a show where it's like men and women, and they are all wanting love, but they don't want to be with somebody based off of their looks. So they go into
I've seen. Yes. They go into the portals. They end up marrying people from the wall to wall.
Yes. So yeah, basically, they're not wanting to date based off of physical characteristics. So you're not supposed to ask questions about physical characteristics. So the question was, if you were on Love Is Blind, how would you ask the other person if they were black without straight out asking them if they're black? What question would you ask them to know if they're black or not? Give me 2 questions.
Dang, this is.
I'm going to tell you what I would say. I'm going to say, at your Thanksgiving table, do y'all have sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? I'm going to say that.
All right, so I would say what type of dances do they do at their family reunions? Maybe
That's a dead giveaway because I actually learned. I don't think white people have family reunions. I think that's a black. No, actually, I know that's like a black family thing.
yeah. So that might would.
That's what you would ask.
Get it. Yeah.
What else would I? say?
Wait. Go back to your question.
I said sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna answer this, and you let me know if I would be black or not.
Okay.
Okay. So you said pumpkin or
sweet potato pie.
sweet potato.
Yeah. Nigga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just.
I ain't never had no pumpkin pie at my Thanksgiving Christmas table. None of that. Okay.
I was just making sure. I'm like, well, I know some. I feel like sometimes, like they'll make pumpkin pie. It's very.
Who your people make pumpkin pie?
I think my grandma used to.
Oh Lord.
Back when, yeah.
Jesus. I ain't never had no pumpkin pie. People be trying to tell me that pumpkin is good. I just think I'm country as corn. I love sweet potato. Like, I love sweet potato so much. So I just can't get with pumpkin.
Yeah, I haven't really had too many times where I had not pumpkin.
All right, country. All right, so what's another question that you ask to determine if somebody is black?
That was about all I had.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna ask a lot of food questions because that tells me a lot about a person.
So I'd be asking for. That's gonna be us. I don't know.
What you? I know, cause I'm gonna say, do you like your mac and cheese and your yams to touch? That's what I'm gonna say, cause that's gonna let me know.
I don't like mine to
Because
touch.
black people call sweet potatoes yams, and they really ain't yams. So if they not black, they gonna say, what is a yam? But black people call sweet potatoes yams, and they're not yams. So that's how I'm gonna know.
Terminology.
Yeah, I think a lot of my stuff is gonna be food
You
based.
can ask somebody if they would ever say the word nigga.
Well, some black people don't say the word nigga, so I don't think that's a good question to ask. I don't think that's a good question.
Well,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say finish the lyric. We're blessed in the city.
Okay.
You don't know the rest of the word?
I know
Say
the
the rest of the word. Come. We're blessed in the city.
This not that. What's that game?
We're blessed when we come, when we go. We can't. See, you trying to tell me I don't know. See,
I don't think that clarifies if you're. I wouldn't say that.
That's a black gospel song.
I don't know if that would.
You're not playing this correctly.
Let's say it's a black person across from the room. They might not know that song.
All I'm saying, the type of black person that I would be interested in would know the song.
You don't know what's behind that wall.
I know if they don't know that song, then it's a problem. And you act like you don't know the song.
I know it's a gospel song. I don't know the words. I don't have to know every song.
Lord.
So you playing this Sunday?
But I do think most of the questions that I'm gonna ask are food-based questions, because that'll tell me you can't do that because you're not supposed to ask physical characteristics, but you want to know if they black or not.
Okay.
So
would you say the word? Yeah, that would work.
No, you can't say you cannot say that, because then it's like
that ain't no characteristic.
It is, because if the person can say nigga, they black. So it is a characteristic question. You can't
I'm trying
ask
to get
that.
answers. Right.
See,
I need the answer.
You something else. You know that?
I need an answer.
Anyway, you don't even know. I have a bunch of questions that I would ask, but just know most of them are going to be food. Do you know what a collard green is?
Do you know?
How do you know what a collard green is?
Glimpse in the wind. That's what.
Okay, let's keep it going, because you. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to our help center segment for this week. And our help center is basically where we get questions from you all and we answer them. So if you would like to send us a question, please email us at message24pod@gmail.com, or you could DM us at message24pod on Instagram.com. On Instagram. Just know you'll be anonymous. We're not going to say your name. We're just going to read the email and kind of answer the question from there.
I might say your name.
See that? No, don't say that, because now people not going to send no questions. I promise we will not read your name. I promise we will not read your name, because I'm the one who I handle this stuff anyway.
But they might want to get some. Just put in the email.
No, I'm not.
If you want your name read.
No, don't say that, because no, for real,
some people might want the fame.
I'm not reading. I don't care. I'm not reading their name. I'm not reading nobody's name. And don't joke like that, because then people are gonna want to send us questions for the hope they gonna think, Lord, I'm asking them a personal question. They're gonna say my name. Like, no.
They trust us.
They don't even know us.
They trust us.
They don't even know us. Also, shout out to our listeners in Denver and Seattle. I don't know who y'all are, but like the most of our listeners are coming from Denver and Seattle. Nice. I don't even think I know anybody in Denver and Seattle, but shout out to y'all. We have gotten some really good feedback from this podcast, but I just really was not expecting majority of. I thought most of our listeners would be North Carolina based. Yeah. They're everywhere, and Denver is at the top of the list right now. So
keep doing your thing.
Keep doing your thing, Denver. You know, I put on for Denver. I don't know. I've only been there one time, but you know what I'm saying? I put on for the Colorado. Okay.
Collard green. Yeah. I got a little hungry. Sorry.
Hopefully that food is simmering in that crock pot. I'm cooking some pot roast, y'all.
Yeah,
some cream mashed potatoes and some green beans. It's good. Oh, I'm ready.
I'm about to, and we got the Hawaiian. Don't forget about the Hawaiian rolls.
That's the signature part of the meal.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Is the
I might
Hawaiian
eat half of them.
No, we ain't even gonna do that. So our help center from this week. Let me try to pull it up. All right, so it ain't Jeopardy. So our help center from this week reads, Message 24 Pod. Thank you so much for being open. Hold on, my iPad's acting stupid. Okay, so thank you so much for being open and for sharing your experiences. I want to know, how do you know when you are in love? I feel like I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not illiterate. It's just the way they worded this. I feel like I have been in love a few times, but I just wasn't sure if it was lust. How do you decipher between the two? I promise I'm not. Let me just preface this by saying I'm not illiterate. My iPad is acting stupid. And then, when you click it and you try to go to something else, y'all, please. So I guess I could answer. And then you can chime.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I think that I knew when I loved you. I knew I loved you when you popped up on me. We hadn't even been dating for that long. And I remember I was calling you and you weren't answering the phone. I was with my homegirl. We were at the house. We were eating. I remember what I was eating and everything. And I was like, what the hell is he doing? Like, why are you not answering the phone? And then you text me. He's like, I'm outside. And you were at my door. And you came and you brought me Twizzlers. And those are my favorite candy. And I was like, wow, he listens. He knows I like Twizzlers. And that's when I knew I loved you. I knew. I'm like, okay, he actually pays attention. It was just a feeling. I don't know how to. I didn't have any criteria to measure why I felt that way, but I just knew that I loved you when you did that. So when you knew you loved me.
I will say I'm just kind of going through a few things. I would say probably.
I know what you're about to say.
It could be a few.
I know.
Like you just, I would say the moment that you came and helped me with my, you knew
I knew you was about to say that.
Oh yeah, I would. So let's put things in perspective for people who
they don't know.
Don't know our background. So we do not stay in the same city. Mm-hmm. So
never have.
We travel 2 hours. 2.5 hours, something like that.
Used to be an hour, now it's 2.
Yeah, to see each other. So, me traveling that far probably really made you excited.
I was
for the
like,
Twizzlers.
what?
Yeah.
And you were outside, with something that I love. Yeah. I was like, ooh, I got feelings for you.
But on my end, I was moving into an apartment.
Sorry, I didn't cut you.
I don't think they can hear it.
Oh, these chairs loud. Y'all can hear it. That's what that noise is. Sorry, baby. Go ahead.
Musical chairs in here.
Not musical chairs.
Anyways, yeah, I was moving into a new apartment and we hadn't met. We hadn't been knowing each other for maybe.
That was the second. That's the second time we met.
That was our second encounter, but I wanted you to come down and help me so bad with moving in, or just to be here with me moving in. So I knew that I loved you then, but when and fellas, I think I talked about this in one of my other episodes, potentially, not being so pushy or pressed.
Yeah.
So I was really chilling and just kind of seeing where you were, how you were thinking things would go. But when you came down and spent some time helping me with my TV set.
The TV set was awful.
Yeah, just helping me just kind of get through that process and moving. I knew that I loved you and that you were important to me, and that I definitely wanted you around, even if things were super busy or whatever was happening. I wanted you to be there. So that probably was one instance. Then when I was really sick, That was another one. So I got you sick. So
Yeah.
So to answer their question though, because I don't think that was the.
I mean, I think the answer is, it's just a feeling. Like, it's not a sexual thing. Because they're
Lust
asking,
is
how
a
do you know
sexual
if it's
thing.
love or lust? Like, lust, it can only take you so far. Like, lust would not have led me to, like, you know, taking care of you when you were sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like, or me even driving an hour, 30 minutes to come see you to help you do stuff. Like, you do that for me, I do that for you. So
Yeah, love is kind of a thing that you go to. Someone would call you crazy with love. Like,
crazy,
with
man.
something that you do, they're like, you are crazy. You just drove, like, in
Yeah.
essence, that you drove 2 hours to come see me.
Straight off work.
Yes. To help me.
Yeah.
They would be like, I ain't doing that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, that's when you know you're in love with someone. Not when lust is when it's a sexual urge, or all you can think about is body parts.
Yeah.
Or just an urge to touch on it, like it's
Yeah.
a physical. It's more of a physical.
Definitely
Just-
physical.
You want to have that physical encounter. You desire that physical encounter, but love can happen virtually, which is crazy. It can. Like, yeah.
I think that's a good answer. I also really love when you tell that story about that's when you knew you loved me. Because it's funny, because I said I love you first. And I think you realized that you loved me before I knew that I loved you. Because you said you knew you loved me the second encounter. I think it was like the third that I was like, okay, I love him. So
Yeah, I just,
played it.
yeah.
I just remember being so nervous to tell you I loved you. I remember I had told my friends like 2 weeks before, I was like, y'all, I'm in love. And they was like, well, you gotta tell them. And I was like, no, I can't tell them because I think it only been like 2 months, 3 months. But I already knew that I loved you, but I just was afraid to like tell anybody. Because I'm like, they don't think I sound crazy. Like, how I love him already. And I just remember telling my friends, I was like, well, you gotta tell them. And I think I just got to a point where I was like, I love him. And even if he does not feel that same way yet, that doesn't change how I feel. So I just remember sitting in the bed and I was about to say it and he was like, what? And I was like, never mind. And then I didn't end up saying it until like a week after that because I just was so afraid. And then I told you that I love you.
Yeah, that's saying you love someone is, for us, I think it's probably not hard for some people, but I think
it was hard for both of us, yeah.
Yeah, because when you do that, you put yourself in such a vulnerable situation because you think that person loves you back and you want them to love you back. It's not guaranteed, but being that we're both, we both wanted that, like, nervous to
So
actually
scared.
put your heart out there, pretty much.
I don't know if you would have said it if I didn't say it.
Not necessarily. You just, when it needed to be said, it would have been said.
Well, excuse me. Clearly, when I said it, it won't need to be said on your end. Yeah, but I needed you to know. I'm like, I love you. And I said, and if you don't feel that way yet, that's okay. But that doesn't change how I feel. And you said, I love you as a person. I ain't never wanted to like just jump off of a balcony in my entire life. You was like, I love you as a person. And I was like, okay.
You can love someone as a person.
Yeah, but I was just like, I just would have rather you not even saying anything. And then instead of saying you love me as a person, because I just was like, damn, like, okay, that's cool. Even though I told myself I was prepared for you not to be ready to say it back. When you said it, I was like, maybe I should have kept that to myself. But I loved you so much. I had to let you know that that's how I felt, even though I knew there was a possibility that you weren't there yet. But I need you to know, like, I'm all in. I love you.
And I think
I want to be with you.
That's important. I think probably I guess it's kind of a thing. Men, you're like, men need to know what they want.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I don't think it was at a point like that, but I don't know. You're patient with it. I was just very patient and just.
I don't think you were that patient because I remember even like
I knew, but I'm just like.
Yeah, because you told me. I remember we were sitting on the couch and you was like, "I'm looking for my wife. I ain't got time to play games." I said, "Okay, all right." And this was before I told you I loved you. He was like, I'm looking for my wife.
So intentional.
You were very intentional. You were. If I can give any advice to anybody, be intentional. Cause you told me that from jump, like what you were looking for, what you wanted. He's like, I'm not playing around. Basically, I remember when I was applying to vet school, and two of the schools I applied to were out of the state and were kind of far. And you were like, well, can I just ask you, like, if you get into these schools, like, do you even want to be in a relationship? Like, what are you looking for? That sort of thing. You were being very intentional.
Right.
Very, very intentional. You were thinking about stuff I wasn't even thinking about. He was like, should I even try? Like, is this something that you're going to want? And yeah, it worked out. I don't know if we answered your question. I hope we did. Again, it's a feeling. I can't give you a criteria or a checklist. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
But like James was saying, lust is like physical. Like, yeah.
Grab it.
Every time you think about that person is you think about having sex with them, it's probably lust. Because when I think about you, I think about our quality time. I love when we just in the bed, like eating popcorn, watching TV. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do. So when I think of you, I don't think of
hunching. Yeah,
that's not the first thing my mind goes to. And if you are thinking about somebody, and that's the first thing your mind goes to, it might be the list. Yeah. It might not be love. Yeah. So thank you for sending that question. I apologize for how I got through reading it. I promise y'all. Bear with me. I'm not about to say I'm learning. I'm not learning how to read, but I'm just.
You're still a growing girl.
First of all, I'm grown. I ain't learning how to read. I'm learning how to look through this outline and not get myself discombobulated.
Twisted.
All right.
Tonguified.
Anyway, thank you all for listening to the Message 24 podcast. We're so glad that you guys like what we have to say. And if you want to see our faces, you can head over to our YouTube at Message 24. Please subscribe. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And follow us
Give us
on
them stars, even if it's a 1 star.
Just say what you feel. Yeah. And follow us on Instagram to stay updated on all Message 24 related information.
Yeah.
Oh God. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. You're almost there. It's almost Friday. You're almost there.
Happy Hunch.
No. We said we wasn't doing it.
Happy Hunch. HHW.
Hit stop on this record right now. Right now.
Bye bye. Have a beautiful time.